So suppose I will be having a virtual lecture or virtual discussion pertaining to this lesson, um, but we will be continuing later our activity pertaining to the introduction. So I prepared the very first lesson for career development for us to proceed tomorrow the second lesson, which is managing your own career. So today I will be starting on the introduction of career development, and it is entitled with career development itself. This is the very first lesson pertaining to career development. We will be knowing what is career development, why career development is important, why do we need to use this so-called development, what are those stages that is includes pertaining on your development with your career, and we will be also discussing about how important career development is. So, without further ado, let's start our discussion for this lesson. So, of course, as you can see in this picture, choose your best career. So, career will not necessary, because we all know that some of us is our career or our choosing course is not our uh, or we did not choose that certain course, but eventually as the day goes by, I know, and me also, I experienced that day by day, or along the way, we we love, or we na, or let's say, sa pagdaan ng panahon, minamahal na rin natin yung kurso na yun. Even though that course is chosen by our parents, because our parents decided that this course will be the one you will be taking. So along the way, I believe in this the term so-called process. Process will leads the way. Process will explain everything. Process will teach you how to love the chosen course that you have, or the chosen by your parents course that you have. And process will give you some learnings, process will give you some experience. So let's trust the process. Along the way, we will we will experience and we will encounter that one. So of course, I am your teacher for career development, your story, Miss Nika Blanca Pihana. And without further ado, let's start our discussion by answering the question, what exactly is career development? As the statement below, it's a lifelong process in which was become aware of, interested in, knowledgeable about, and skilled in career. It is a key part of human development as our identity forms and our life evolves. Or literally, when we say career development, it is the process of choosing a career, improving your skills, and advancing along a career path. That's why it's a lifelong process. Why? Because a lifelong process of learning and decision making will brings you a closer to your ideal job, or closer to our ideal career. And that so-called ideal job and ideal career will include some skill set, and of course your lifestyle in the near future. So meaning to say, career is in accordance with your development. When we say development, it is the process. So along the way, all of the circumstances will be your development. All of that learnings will be your development to go, or to succeed, or to follow your a certain career. So development is very important pertaining to your career. Okay? So if you have question, clarification with this slide, you can ask me directly on GC. So it's very simple. When we say career development, it is a process. Process by the means so-called word development. So meaning to say, it is a process along the way with a certain career that you have chosen. It is a process, meaning to say it involves improving your skills, improving yourself, improving your decision making. It is a part of the process in developing your career. Okay? Aside from that, it is also the knowledge that you have. Not also along the way with the career, but also in the course that you have. Along the way with the course that you have, after that one, you will be giving a career, right? So let's just not set aside the learnings that you have in the course itself, because in that it 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 will give you a knowledge and skill about your own career. So that is the definition or the description of career development. And of course, on defining or giving the description about career development, we will be asking also, why do we need, or let's say, why is career development necessary? There are two steps on defining or describing how or why is career development necessary. Why do we need to learn career development? There is a help ba with regards on choosing it, or does career development enlighten us on choosing our career, or thus career development will give us a hint on the career that we will be having on the future? That was the question that will literally asked by yours truly, by me. Why? Because in choosing a career or in choosing a course, it is not easy. Why? Because there are a lot of instances. There are a lot of circumstances, or let's say there is a lot of process on choosing a career or choosing a course itself. That's why I've literally have the so-called activity, which is introduction, for me to assess if your course is your chosen one, or if your course is chosen by your parents, by your peer pressure, or even by your friends, or even the so-called explanation, go with the flow. I chose this course because I don't know what else I will be doing someday. So this course or this lesson will enlighten you why career development is important, why knowing career development is important. And with the question, it is answerable by two steps. We have career development aids in the adaptation to the changing nature of work and types of job. Career development also aids in the management of manpower requirements. Of course, let's explain first further the first statement. It said that career development aids the adaptation to the changing nature of work and types of job. Yes, in the learning, in the aspect on the process of your course, like for example right now, from the bachelor degree that you have from first year to fourth year, there are a lot of adjustment, there are a lot of adaptation that you will be having. If you will dealing with your career in a certain workplace, there is so-called adaptation pertaining on what career, pertaining to the co-worker that you have, pertaining on the process or pertaining on the situation in your career. Let's say, for example, in an hospital. In having your career, which is medical technology someday, it is very, very important to adopt the culture of the community, to adopt the culture of the hospital itself. You have to adjust because you are a new employee or new worker. So all of the workers in the certain hospital adjust themselves. So your job in the very first year or the very first week of your job in the hospital, number one that you will be assessing or you will be doing is adjustment. Aside from adjustment, you have to do adaptation. You have to adapt what culture they have. Not necessary that you have to change yourself, but you have to adopt, you have to adjust, you have to respect. So, that kind of nature is part of your work. There are a lot of changing on your types of job. You'll be adjusting when it comes to the culture. You'll be adjusting when it comes because you are a junior and there's a senior in the institution or in the hospital. You will be adjust with the five minds or five person, different person to be exact. Let's say in the hospital, you have a coworker which is you have lima kayo. Lima kayo sa isang hospital. You will be adjusting not only with the culture of that person, but also you will be adjusting the culture of the job. How was the job being done in the certain hospital? How was those attitude reflect on your own attitude? You have to adjust and adapt. Respect one another, then by that, you will be going to develop your own career or your own job, and you will be dealing with the others, and with that, there's a so-called learnings in respecting others, in adapting some skills of the others. Aside from that, adjusting something you will be learning after in the so-called career. Okay, aside from that statement, it also said that career development aids in the management of manpower requirements. So meaning to say, there is a process again in career development. Not in a say that in a one click of my hand, you are a medical technologist. No, there is a requirements, okay, of being a career, of being in that career. Okay, always remember that one. You have to deal with the 4 years bachelor degree. You have to take the licensure examination, and you have to take the 2 years course, 2 years experience. Okay, so these are the reason why career development is necessary. This is the reason why you need to know what is career development. This is the reason why you need to know the stages of career development. For you, for us, or for you someday, can, what you call this, can use this so-called strategies, this so-called stages on how you can develop your own career. So with that, let's proceed to another slide. If you have question with this one, you can definitely message me on, or you can definitely message me on group chat. Okay, let's proceed. So with that question, what is exactly career development? Why career development is necessary? It answerable by the stages of career development. Of course, there is so-called step-by-step process. You cannot say that you can get this so-called career but a one glimpse of an eye, one click of a hands. No, you will be you will follow the step-by-step process or the stages of career development. And what are those? Of course, it started with the stage of growing. Number four, first one, stage of growing. This is the time in early years, which is you are 4 to 13 years old, when you begin to have a sense about the future. You begin to realize that your participation in the world is related to being able to do certain tasks and accomplish certain goals. Yes, growing is a part of a stage, or the beginning of the stage that eventually will enlighten a person, will enlighten each of us. Why? Because of your age. At early age, 4 to 13 years old, hindi lang man paglalaro ang iisipin nyo yan. In that stage, you will begin to enlighten, you will begin to realize that what will be, or who am I in the near future? What is my participation in the world? In that stage, you will enlighten, you will realize something, and you will observe that what is my importance in the world, or how can I participate on a certain community, or what is my relation on the community. Okay, yan. Kung ano ba ang gusto ko someday. So in that stage from 4 to 13 years old, there is so-called career management eh. Meron na tayong tinatawag na activity na certain school or a certain elementary school, private or public, that asking you what do you want someday? What work do you want someday? Diba? There is so-called career management in that time that asking you, or having an activity that asking you that what you want someday. Then you will be showing your interest about saying that someday I want to be a doctor, like that. So in this early age, dyan na edad, nagsisimula na kayo to think, to enlighten, to realize that I have a purpose in this world, and that purpose will be surely exist in in the near future. 'Di ba? Ganyan. So that is the very first stage of career development, which is growing. Next would be exploring. Exploring is the period begins when you are teenager and it extends into your mid 20s. It is the stage you find that you have specific interest and aptitude. You are aware of your inclination to perform and learn about some subject more than others. You may try out jobs in your community or at your school. You may begin to explore a specific career. At this age, you have some detailed or data points about career, which will guide you in a certain direction. So, exploring it is different to growing. Why? Because exploring in this time, it is the period begins on you are now participating yourself in the community, meaning to say not only in the community, even in the school, meaning to say there are some jobs that is applicable to you because it is from teenager to mid 20s. You can have a scholarship here, working student, you can, this is applicable in this one, and by that you are experiencing something pertaining in your career someday. You will be exploring the world of working place. You will be introducing yourself to a working place. You have to deal with a different person in your working place. So this is the starting point, but not the entire teenager or the entire mid 20s child can experience this because somehow 50% of the student is not working student. So literally there are some activities in the institution or in the university or even in the school offered a scholarship. Working student in the school, or even there is somehow activity that your teacher will assign you that you have to be the laboratory student in a certain laboratory, that she will train you to be a laboratory student. So it depends upon in the university. That's why in this exploring part, you will be starting to experience how to work. You will be starting to experience to figure out what is in the workplace. You will be starting to experience, or you will be having your data points acting in different time that you have, scheduling your time. You have the data points that what you've done this early, what you've done this day, what you've done this week. You have certain data, meaning to say, um, you are now starting. Okay, so if growing is starting to participate, starting to know what you want someday, exploring is the starting point. Meaning to say you are experiencing na. Nag-i-experience ka na ng trabaho, nag-i-experience ka na to deal with the other person, and how you connect it to your studies. So that is the two stage of career development. Second would be establishing. Third will be establishing. This period covers your mid 20s through mid 40s. By now, you are selecting or entering a field you consider suitable, and you are exploring job opportunities that will be stable. You are also looking for upward growth, so you may be thinking about the advanced degree. So, in this establishing, it is literally your early college days. So meaning to say, on what you've graduated of what your graduated course that you have, you are starting to look in advance with the degree. Like for example, you are now graduated with the so-called course which is medical technology. By that you have a suitable work. Meaning to say you are in the hospital or even you are teaching on the school. So establishing, meaning to say you are starting your own career, your own job. You're starting the job that establish you or that establish everything with you in the near future. Okay? This is the starting point how you will deal with your finances. This is the starting point will be you can ask yourself if this job if this job is suitable with my needs. So this is the start of your career. So establishing will be the one, or will be the one to answer if that career of yours is suitable of your needs, with your needs. Sorry. Okay. So you have to establish first before you will go or before you will maintain that stage. So when we say maintaining, this is a stage that is typical people in their mid 40s to mid 60s. You may be in an upward pattern of learning new skills and staying engaged. But you might also be merely coasting and cruising, or even feeling stagnant. You may be taking stock of what you've accomplished and where you still want to go. So meaning to say, maintaining, you are done establishing yourself. You are done establishing the career that you have. So meaning to say, you are now maintaining the career that you have, at the same time you are learning with it also, with new skills, with new learnings. Then afterwards, you will be staying engaged with that new activities that you've learned. But with that, you will be questioning or asking yourself again that I am now is I established now my career. So the question would be, I want to still have this so-called career, or I will go or let it go. So meaning to say, you are now in the stage which is reinventing. Meaning to say, in your mid 60s, you are likely transitioning into retirement. But retirement in our technologically advanced world can be just the beginning of new career or pursuit. A time when you can reinvent yourself. There are many new interests to pursue, including teaching others what you've learned, volunteering, starting online business, consulting, or etc. So that's why I've said in maintaining, after that stage, you'll be asking yourself if you still want this kind of career, or you will let go na. So meaning to say, you will be resting. You will be dealing with a new environment, like teaching others of those learnings that you have. So retirement is in this stage. You are now capable to produce your needs, to give your needs. You are capable na. You already established, maintain, and at the same time, you've already reinvent yourself. With that, you can now rest, and you can now do the things that you want. You can give some teaching, or you can give some seminars of what you've learned about the long journey that you have with your career. So that was the stages pertaining on the career development. So that is the stages of career development. So if you have a question, clarification, you can ask me on GC, and or you can direct PM me. So I hope you've understand what is the differences between those stages of career development. So now let's proceed. So now, I will give you activity 1.1. This will be the first activity that we have. The oral activity is not the same with this one kasi this is the written activity. I will be giving the question in e-class. So, just wait for my instruction later at around 4 to 5:30 o'clock for answering this kind of activity. And I will be giving instruction also with regards to the introductory part, which is I'm asking you about who chose your career, like that. So let's please wait with my instruction later. Okay? So activity 1.1 will be entitled Identifying Your Career Development Stage. So meaning to say, my question is all about if for you, on what stage na ba kayo suitable? Saan na ba kayo? On growing, establishing, maintaining, exploring, or even reinventing? So, Jan. So, that was my activity later. Okay? So, let's proceed. So, we've already done discussing the career stages or stages of career development. So, now let's proceed to the career roadmap. Of course, in a certain career, there is so-called roadmap. What will be the very first thing you will do, and if that thing that you will be doing will succeed you at the end. So that's why it's called road map. Okay, let's proceed. So as you can see here, there are certain road that give you a line or a spiral line. If you can go with the end of the road, or you will stuck in the beginning of the road. So that will be the career roadmap. Okay, next. Of course, the very beginning of the career roadmap or on the course that you have is know yourself. From growing, from the stages of the career development to the career roadmap, you will be begin with knowing yourself. Know your capabilities, know your skills, know your habits, your talents, your everything, so that you can explore it and choose an option. Kasi in a certain skills, like for example, there is a certain skills that is for habits. But there is a certain skills that for your career. Good example is if you are good on arts. You are good on arts but you did not pursue that kind of skill. Kasi for you, doing an art is your habit. But eventually, you split your decision to another course, to another career that you want. You want to be a medical technologist someday. So what is the interrelationship between the arts and the medical? Di ba, there is no relationship? But because of what you have, because of your skills, that you are not only good on arts, but you are also good on academe, like on a specific field like science, you can choose your option. So eventually, you can have the so-called result that I will be continuing my skills on arts by doing some arts, then eventually can help my field. How? You can you can explore the skill of arts by doing it, then take it into business. Then in that time, in that situation, nakakatulong pa yung pagkamagaling mo sa arts para matulungan ang needs mo sa pagiging medical technologies. That is correct. So, with the skills that you have, since you've already know yourself that I am good at this one and not only good in academe but also I'm good in curricular activities, you can explore and you can choose your option. Okay. And by choosing option, you can gain knowledge and experience. 'Di ba? So, if you will know yourself and then afterwards know the certain skills, then explore and choose it, you will be gaining some experience by doing that certain skills that you have, by doing the another skills pertaining to the academe that you have. You can gain both experience, application or knowledge. Okay, you can apply it to the future needs, or you can use it on your decision making. So that makes or it will put it all together, and your job search process will be end. Meaning to say, you can now choose your own, that I am suitable enough to this course, that I want this so-called career because I have a foundation with that. So in choosing a career or in choosing a course is not easy. You have to know first yourself. You have to explore and choose option. You have to gain knowledge and experience. And if you put it together, you have and if you put it together, your job search process will be done. Meaning to say, your roadmap now will be end. Na nakapunta ka sa huling map, na nakapunta ka sa huling road. Hindi ka lang sa unahan. You try to go, to walk, and eventually adapt all the circumstances that you've encountered in each map, in each places that you have. So that's why career, it's like a road map. You have a beginning, a middle, a climax, and afterwards, the end. Okay. So I hope you've understand what is career roadmap. So if you have question, you can eventually ask me on the GC. Okay? Let's proceed. So PDCA, in career development, there is so-called an acronym also, that this term can help you in developing your certain career. It is so-called plan, do, check, and act. That's why it's called PDCA. Plan, do, check, and act. So first, you have to plan. Yes. Along the way, you have to plan. Okay. Everything has a plan. But I believe also with a person that has no plan. Meron ding tao talaga that she or he can't plan what will be her or his future. And I will respect that. But if you want to have a so-called line path or a good path, you have to start with a plan. On teaching, before I will start my teaching, I will do my lesson plan. 'Di ba? Before we will start our teaching, I will do my course syllabus for college. 'Di ba? There is so-called an organization of ideas and thoughts. There is so-called an organization of ideas and thoughts pertaining on decision making. So you have to start on plan. What are your goals and objectives? Ano ba talagang gusto ko sa buhay? Then number 1, since I am good at science, since I'm good at science, basically I will be choosing a course that in line to medical field. Like that. Aside from that, what is your goal? I want to be a medical technologist to help to assess certain fluids or certain microorganism, and I want to be a medical technologist someday to proceed with a career which is doctor, that I want to help others. Dapat may certain goal ka. Dapat may certain objective ka for you to follow that kind of goal or objective. What process will you use to get to your targets? Anong kakailanganin mo? Yan. So that's why I've said career development will connected to the word process. Kasi you will be learning with the process, you will be setting the process, you will be experiencing the process. So there are a lot of words that we can accordance to the word development. Okay? So plan. Next will do. Of course. Hindi naman gagalaw or hindi naman mangyayari ang plano kung hindi gagawin. Right? Kaya nga always in a barkada or in a friend, let's go on beach. Let's go on vacation. Anong gagawin? Plano lang kayo ng plano on your group chat, then eventually you did not act with what you've planned. So literally, drawing ang nangyayari. It is the same with your path on career. After you plan, of course, if there is a plan, there is an action. Do. Implement your plan, sell your product, which is you and your skills, talents, energy, and enthusiasm. Okay. Sell your product. Not in the sense that the product, literally product, but in a sense product as yourself. This time, you will be expressing or you will be showing to others what you are, your skills, your talents, your capabilities, pertaining to your field or pertaining to your career. So that is so-called do, actions. Third is check, of course. After the plan, after you do the action, of course you will be checking it. You will be looking at the result so far. If those skills or those showing of your skills, capabilities, talents is you are happy with that, with your job or wherever you are in the career. If you are happy so far in being a medical technology student, if you are happy so far on being an educator. So that was the question that will be arising on the check situation or check stage. So you have to check everything. Hindi lang man always that you have to act, then eventually you will realize that I'm not happy anymore. Yes, I want to be a medical technology, but the loving of the course is not in my not in my mind, not in my heart. Yes, I have in my mind that I want to pursue this course because I want to be a medical technology, but I did not what do you call this? Involve my heart with this. Meaning to say, go with the flow ka lang. Gusto ko kasing makatapos Gusto ko kasing maging medical technology, but your heart will not answer that kind of explanation. Hindi siya nagiging ganyan. Because your heart is longing for another. So meaning to say, you will be checking yourself afterwards. After the action that you make, you have to check yourself. If you're happy, that if you're contented, if you want to pursue it or not, or if you want to show more, or tama lang, limitan na tayo. Diyan lang tayo eh. You have to check always yourself. Okay? Then afterward is act. Before doing it, of course, doing is like an act eh. Iba rin ito sa last part. How should you act going forward? What are the changes in the planning, doing, and checking do you want to take? The PDCA framework is ongoing process. Meaning to say, act dito, comparing to the do dito sa number 2, ang act na ito ay nagbibigay lang sa iyo ng pahayag that if you want to go forward with this kind of course or with this kind of career, you will be possible on the process, you will be changing your planning, your doing, and your checking. Pwedeng-pwede yun because according nga with the statement, PDCA or plan, do, check, act can be changed. Not literally that along the process that so-called plan of yours is fixed. No. There are a lot of instances that you will be encounter. There are a lot of problems that you will be solving, and that can affect to your plan, do, check, and act stage. So it is an ongoing process, meaning to say it is depending on also with the experience that you will be having, and it is depending also on what you have in that day. So it can be changed. Always remember that in your mind that it's not fixed. It can be changed. It can affect it with regards to your problem. It can affect with regards to the options that you have. So PDCA or plan, do, check, and act will change, and it is an ongoing process. Okay? So let's continue. Yeah, so as you can see in my picture here, how can I decide this left or right ba? Right path or left path? So with that, how can you organize your thought without doing a PDCA? Plan, do, check, and act. Right? So you have to do this one para hindi malito, para may buo, may kabuuan yung gusto mong marating. So you have to fix yourself that you have to write your plan, do, check, and act stage. Okay? On choosing a career development. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so we have stages in career development. This one is career stages. What are those stages in your career? So number 1, exploration stage. Number 2, establishment stage, maintenance stage, and late career stage. Actually, it is the same with the stage of career development. The same lang to. So let me give you a glimpse of it. So it is the same. Again, it is the same with the stages of career a while ago that I've already discussed. So this is actually a representation and illustrations of the stages of career. So exploration, establishment, maintenance, and late career stage. So exploration, the same idea with the exploration, the stages of the career, and establishment, pareho lang po sila. Okay? Don't be confused with this one because it is the same. From growing, exploring, establishing, maintaining, and reinventing, which is late career stage. Okay? So let's proceed. So as you can see, the different pictures here will shows to you my like for example here, this person ba to? I think it is cartoon character. So he opened a certain notebook, life goals, my life goals. So meaning to say, in that notebook nakasulat na dyan ang plan, do, check, and act. My organization of thoughts, my organization of decision making. So nandiyan na siya. So how can you do that? Of course, how to create a career development plan. So it will undergo with asking you how you create that one. So you will be following the stage, right? So follow these steps to create a career development plan for yourself. First, okay, again, this is the list on how to create a career development plan. So, these are the steps that you will be following on creating a career development plan. So, the very first one is identify your current position. Second, identify your destination, do a gap analysis, create your career development plan, measure your progress, and be ready to re-evaluate. So, meaning to say, this kind of steps will eventually give you a certain path that you want to do by listing those importance about not only about yourself but also on the experiences that you will be having, also with the process that you will be doing. So, this is the list. Ito lang yung una gagawin ninyo. So, with that, I think that is the end of our discussion for this day, for this lesson. It is very easy, no? Because in this part, I introduced lang the major, the importance of having this so-called career development. What are those stages that you will be encountered? And what are those stages that nandyan ka na ba? Kung nandyan ka na ba sa exploring part or nandyan ka na ba sa establishing part. So that will be answered by knowing the stages that we have. So that is the end of our lesson for this day. I thank you very much for listening. And if you have a question clarification, you can leave it on our GC or even you can direct message me. Okay, thank you very much and have a nice day.